focus.
Yeah, buddy. What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Knowledge Drop live podcast. This is Focus tuning in right straight from Helsinki. Flomo Crew, bboydojo.com, Cypher Studio, and all that good stuff. We've got a special guest today, this time live over here at the studio. Juste Debout, B-Boy Duvall, represent US of A, good friend of mine, a world traveler, person who's been working for various content platforms on social media. So we'll touch some of these topics over here today. And we are here for Helsinki and FOMO anniversary this weekend. So how has Helsinki been treating you this far?
Helsinki's been great. Finland's been fantastic. FOMO anniversary just around the corner. And I couldn't be more excited. If you've never been out here before, I recommend it. You know, it's a great time.
Sweet. Hard to say yet because the jam is starting tomorrow. So we expect a great weekend coming up and a lot of cool things. Cool parties, some dope battles as well, and overall good people and good times. So it's gonna be fun. Good to have you over. Thank you for making that trip.
Oh,
That was from all the way from Colombia to Miami to London to Helsinki, wasn't it?
Yep. Straight from Bogota
Ooh.
up to Miami, up to London, over here to Helsinki. It was a full day of travel, but definitely, like I said, we don't know yet, but I think it'll be worth it.
Could fit into 24 hours, so it was a full day, not over that.
With the time change, it ended up being like time zone wise, it was 24 hours.
Yeah.
But for me, it felt like 12. But from there to here, it's a 9-hour time difference. So a little bit of jet lag, but we're rolling.
You're doing good, man. You're doing good. And you also had some background in the Scandinavian Nordic region. If I got that right, some Swedish and some Norwegian background as well. So it's close to the motherland. Not quite, but still almost same.
Oh yeah, definitely reminds me of home. Makes me think about my grandparents and my family, like lineage and stuff like that. So yeah, not exactly, but Finland right next door there, Sweden, Norway there.
That's it. For anybody who's tuning in for the live, you can always post your comments. We can see them over here at the studio. And if you listen to the recordings, you can always hit us up at bboydojo on Instagram, for example, if you got any comments or anything like this. Cool. So can you, for the people who don't know you yet, maybe we start with a small intro video. We can see one of your rounds so that people know who's over here rocking with us.
Dope.
When did you start to break once again?
Yeah, I started breaking back in 2008 when I was about 13 years old. So it's been a while.
Let's see. Okay.
Straight out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Here's a battle a couple years ago before I cut my hair.
Wow, that was a heavy round. Shout out to Track 2 tuning in. Will be awesome to have you on the show one day as well. So let's stay in touch and I'll hit you up later on. Thanks for the time. Can you share a little bit about that battle? What went down and how did you feel afterwards? There was a lot of heat. There was a lot of fire.
Yeah. That was a couple years ago at Cypher Studio in St. Paul, Minnesota. I just came back from Colombia. People hadn't seen me for a while. So stepping away sometimes from any scene, where people know you, and then coming back, you build a little bit of anticipation and going up against a a pretty well-known guy in the area, Keej. So it was kind of a hype battle, and people were hyped to see it. And high energy song. So I came out right out the gate with high energy, but having a lot of fun. And when I'm dancing, I try to always have a good time. So
Good, good. Who inspires you with the dance these days? Before we move on to social media and content and all that stuff, how about dance? Who inspires you these days?
well, I mean, the same guys that inspired me when I first started still inspire me to this day. And I mean, so I started around 2008. Um, so I mean, early on, I was watching a lot of Machine, whole lot of you, Rock's Right. Yeah, I mean, so many Kid David, so many big names at the time. Nasty Ray. That was like the old Stripe TV days. YouTube was really just like starting off and kicking off in terms of like breaking footage, and um, there was a big scene over in Korea at the time. So like Rivers and Bourne and those guys, Casper, and looking up to so many of these big names. And then years down the road, living in Los Angeles in California, getting to meet these people, it's something I never could have anticipated. But you know, you stick with breaking long enough, you never know where breaking's going to take you.
Yeah, yeah. And earlier on, when we discussed about what we're going to break about today, was about the skill of networking as well and how to get connected with people. So often, like if you want to be around with breaking for a long time, then it's not always about your breaking moves. It's not always about your freezes, your power moves, not your top rocks. There's a lot more to it. One thing that you mentioned a lot was the skill of networking, the importance of networks and skill of creating them. Can you share some ideas about that? Like why do you think it's so important, and should people kind of like pay attention to when they're going to jams?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a b-boy, as a breaker, as a b-girl, you're always trying to do your best, put your best foot forward on the dance floor, but it's also equally as important doing that off the dance floor. And jams are perfect place for you to do that. Networking, shaking hands, meeting people, not just the judges, but the promoters, everyone around you. You can make your name in the cipher, but then if no one even knows your name, if not everyone's in every single circle, there's still work that you can do. Just simple things as making small conversation, introducing yourself, shaking a hand, you know yo, I'm so and so from over here, because if one or two people at least know, then if someone else says, yo, who was that guy? And they're like, yo, I was talking to him earlier. That's Duvall, that's Focus. He's from here. And they're like, a word? Like, and all of a sudden they might remember you for years, and then your name gets spread around, and you don't know if so and so has got connects with Red Bull, or so and so has got connects with IBE, or next thing you know, they're throwing a jam in their country or their state, and they might be like, who'd be a good fit for this? So and so, Duvall up in Minnesota. Let's bring him out to Detroit. Let's bring him out to Texas. You know, so I mean, networking is huge, especially if you're trying to make it as a breaker. Winning battles is one thing, but then teaching workshops, judging, and then even kind of what you mentioned about social media work. There's so much going on with breaking. You're trying to make it as a b-boy. There's a lot of different ways you can support yourself breaking related work, even if it's not on the dance floor under the spotlight. There's a lot you can do to get yourself out there and get opportunities.
Yeah, yeah. I'm constantly surprised about your network. We've been working together for about couple years, about 2 years right now, 2 years plus. And every single time I'm like, okay, we should reach out to, let's say, Luigi or whatever. He's like, yeah, I know Luigi. And it's always like, I'm always surprised, like, okay, I know some people in Colombia. I know some people over here and there. I'm going to Korea for an event and stuff like this. So you're doing it big. Respect. Can you share a little bit about your journey? We got the starting point now, but how did you get to uh, being in Colombia, being in Korea, being in Helsinki right now? Share us What's the journey like?
Yeah, man, it's been a heck of a journey, and definitely couldn't have predicted it, but almost like I just explained, it's really just a little at a time, one step at a time. You're introducing yourself, you're talking, you're meeting people, um, you're being friendly and you're being open to anything because, like I just mentioned, you never know when that next opportunity is. Yeah, you never know when someone's going to need someone. Um, I was just hitting the circuit, going to jams, breaking everywhere, this and that. Um, talking to people, being nice. You know, I mean, putting in work in the ciphers, and you're not always the nice guy in the cipher, but outside, you know, meeting people, and you're just constantly expanding that community and that network, and you support other people, those support you, and pretty much where I went from just being a regular breaker, going to jams, to being someone working behind the scenes and getting opportunities and getting flown out places. Um, I was good friends with a guy named Daniel Zhu, um, Stripes TV, later into Stance Elements, Stance, which many people might have heard of. Um, he was getting more and more successful, getting more and more work. And at the time, he happened to be looking for an assistant, and I threw my name out there. Just casual conversation. We were actually in the hotel lobby of a Silverback Open, where I also met you more than once, and he told me he'd keep my name in mind, and we talked more, throughout the months, different jams, a little bit online, and that was in the fall of maybe 4, 5 years ago, and a couple months later, that January, like we set up a call, and uh, he got me trained in, and then I ended up working for 3, 4 years with Stance, working on social media for the Pro Breaking Tour, Silverback B-Boy events, my UDEF, kind of handling social media and Instagram posts, Facebook posts, and all different sorts of stuff, getting flown out to help with video work, and the opportunities kept coming. Even recently, I worked on a Olympic documentary series with Daniel that premiered on the Olympic Channel. 6-part series on breaking for the Olympics, one country from each continent, and we flew down to Colombia, filmed episode 3 on Luma, and I helped produce it and help translate it as well.
Wow, that's impressive. That's a journey right there. And I guess building a career, most important part is being at the right place at the right time. And you're just staying home, then most likely nobody's gonna come and pick you up from there. Like you have to put yourself out there and be at the events, be at the spot. And that's when you get caught up with working for other people like that. And also working for the dojo as a community manager for the last 2.5 years. Can you tell slightly about the work that you do with the dojo?
Yeah, absolutely. So almost 2 years ago, um, saw a little post from Focus and threw my name out there once again. Because I mean, if you don't speak up, no one's going to call you and say, "Hey, got a job for you." If you're not putting work to get your name out there and apply, you know things don't come on their own. Even if someone is like calling you up, it's because they saw you battle, they've heard of you, and they want you. So one way or another, you got to put in that work. And with the B-Boy Dojo, I got brought on as the community manager. So if you're familiar with the B-Boy Dojo and what we do here, if you're taking courses, I'm helping out with the day-to-day, everyday emails, questions, the coursework, the assignments, a little bit of editing here and there, a little bit of analytics here and there, but overall assistant and community manager, helping things, smoothly run flow.
Nice, nice. I'm sure a lot of new generation dream about, okay, I watch all the battles in stands, for example, or all the footage from Pro Breaking Tour or UDEF. How has been the experience for you? And is there anything that you want to share about working for a big platform like that?
It's been a ride. It's been a dream. If you're breaking out there, and you love breaking, but you're working and you're not motivated, but you want to work with breaking. I mean, there anything you see that's breaking related, there's someone that's getting paid to do that. So I mean, there's so many opportunities out there. I mean, the music you hear, the videos you watch, the posts you read, the articles you read, everything, someone's doing that, and it's breaking related, so you might be a great fit for that, if you just put yourself out there. And my experience with those platforms have been nothing but great. The people that I get to work with, the places I get to go, it's everything that I love about breaking and going to a jam, and now I'm getting paid for it. So I couldn't be happier, um, going to a jam, meeting everyone, seeing everyone, getting down in the ciphers, and all those benefits. Plus, you're putting in a little bit of work, and you get to do both at the same time. So I couldn't be happier with my time with Stance Elements with Dan. Uh, Great quality content when I've worked with Red Bull. Red Bull treats great care of their people. Um, I've really got no complaints. I've been fortunate to been, like you mentioned, all around the world, and hopefully I can continue to do all that.
Oh, dope. For anybody who's aspiring to become a professional b-boy or work within the scene, behind the scenes, maybe, what would you be like? Would there be like some sort of a words of advice for? Yes, we already spoke about you got to go out, you need to put yourself out there. For example, about content creation, what kind of role would that be as far as getting yourself from the basement to the events, getting flown out, getting paid to do what you love?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to content creation, first off, you have to start somewhere. So just getting yourself out there and doing it, and then getting feedback. There's no such thing as bad feedback, even if it's negative. That's only going to help you, and that's only going to help you improve. And in the year 2023, there's content everywhere. You can see it all over the place. And taking inspiration, taking ideas, learning the foundation, and flipping it. That's so key to being successful. And the more you can put yourself out there, the more you can have it be known, and always trying new things, and being open. Um, that's going to only elevate you more and more. And even myself, I'm always trying to learn, trying to level up. Um, Skills and talent are important, but definitely the most important tip I can give anyone is to just treat others the way you want to be treated. In terms of working, no one wants to work with uh, a b-boy, a b-girl, or any person that uh, creates a negative space, that creates a bad time. Everyone wants to have a good time, whether they're breaking on the floor or they're working, at the office. So if you have a good time and you're friendly and you make it work easier, not just for yourself, but work easier for everyone and everyone on your team, they're going to want to bring you along for the ride, and they're going to keep coming back to you, and you never know where you might end up.
Simple as that. Simple as that. Words of wisdom right there. Traveling, going from Colombia, going to Asia, to Europe, to back to USA. Any wild stories that you can share? What is your favorite spots? What is your favorite foods, or anything crazy that happened along the way?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been, like you said, Korea, Colombia, Poland, UK, Mexico, Canada, all over. So definitely have a story or two, but I've got one particular. For a while, I was living down in Colombia, in Bogota. Shout out to everyone down there. One time, just like I speak about being open about business and work, um, be open about trying new things. And sometimes when you try new things, you're gonna make mistakes, in work or otherwise. And so, down in Colombia, naturally speaking a lot of Spanish, one time, friends of mine, we're getting ready for the day, and they wanted me to help out. So they asked me if I could go to the store and pick up some ham sandwich meat, for lunch, natural. So as I'm headed out the door, they're like, Jesse, oye, hazme un favor y nos trae como jamón, jamón tajado, jamón para los sándwiches. And so at the time, my Spanish wasn't so good. I'm out the door and I'm like, all right, jamón, 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 more or less. I get the store. I'm like, what did they ask me to get? I'm looking at all the shelves, and somehow jamón had changed to jabón, Jabon instead of Jamon. And so, and then, they had been jamón, pollo, just chicken. And I see polvo. So I'm like, yeah, jabón en polvo, which that means laundry detergent in powder. So I buy a bag of laundry detergent in powder, and I go back to the house, and they're getting ready for lunch, hoping I've brought sliced lunch meat back, ham and chicken. Instead, I'm like, yeah, I got the jabón en polvo right here, and I got laundry detergent for lunch. So that was embarrassing.
Oh shit, that's funny. That's funny. Cool. You never know where breaking takes you to buy laundry detergent in the store or whatever it is. That's funny. Cool. All right. So after Helsinki, what's the next destination? Heading back home?
Yeah, after Helsinki, I've been on the road for a couple weeks now. I was down in Colombia for a while. Now we're up here in Finland. So might be a little bit time to go back to Minnesota, back to USA, but there's always something more just around the corner. There's a lot going on right now with the Pro Breaking Tour, so you can see me around out there. Freestyle Session Japan is coming up, so you never know. There's a lot else the rest of the year. We're only halfway done, and yeah, like I said before, you never know what might be coming your way. You just got to keep on putting in work, and you never know where next you're going to end up. That next call, people know you're a good guy, you're a good girl, good lady to work with. They'll be like, I know who I need. I'm going to call up Focus. I'm going to call up Duvall. He's going to be able to help us out and get the job done.
That's what's up. Awesome. Safe travels. Let's have a great weekend. Let's kick it. Battles, ciphers, parties. Let's do it. And who knows? Catch Duvall in the next jam right near you, all around the globe, y'all. Cool. Let's keep it short and simple on this one. Thank you for the time. Appreciate it. And everybody else, check out bboydojo.com for the next 3 episodes of the Knowledge Drop podcast and tutorials and all that good stuff, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Knowledge Drop is out. I'll catch you on the next episode, y'all. Peace.
Peace.